Hello and welcome to this review on Shadow of the Thylacine by Cole Bailey, One Man's Epic Search for the Tasmanian Tiger. This book review is conducted by the Thylacine Research Unit, and this book underpins a number of the theories that we use in our own research and studies in the field looking for the thylacine or the Tasmanian tiger. The Shadow of the Thylacine is quite simply a compelling and fascinating read for those interested in this unique relic of Australia's past. This is a must read for any of those people who are interested in animal welfare, conservation, and the intriguing possibility that this iconic animal may be out there hiding from its number one adversary, mankind. The book has an easygoing, easy to read, authentic atmosphere about it. But be warned, it's hard to put down, particularly if you're passionate about thylacines and endangered species in general. So what is the book about? Well, this book is a combination of autobiography on Cole Bailey, the author and renowned thylacine researcher, and it is also a field journal. It details Cole's methodical and relentless search for the Tasmanian tiger. So why I like this book? Well, I like this book because it offers a fresh and pragmatic approach to the search for the thylacine. It is in its own way a conduit to the now mostly gone past, where people had first-hand knowledge of the thylacine and its behaviours. Cole tells many stories within this book about how he interviewed, discussed, chatted with people who were out there actually hunting and trapping thylacines, and he then used that information in his own field research and investigations. It offers never before seen thylacine sighting information, including Cole's own first-hand accounts about how he personally saw a thylacine in the Weld Valley in 1995. It offers new theories, in particular the thylacine corridor theory, which we'll look at in more detail a little bit later on. And it has some thought-provoking photos and secondary evidence from the author's personal collection. There's one photo in there from an alleged shot thylacine dating back to 1990 that's very compelling and interesting indeed. So what contribution does this particular work make to the field research into thylacine? Well, personally, I believe it makes a significant contribution to the body of knowledge on thylacine, and in particular the in-the-field approach about how this research is conducted is unique. Very few people can claim, if any, that they've spent as much time in the field looking for the thylacine as Cole Bailey has. I really like the way that Cole has chosen his areas to investigate. The corridor theory that he comes up with, and we'll have a graphical representation of that shortly, is very plausible and is consistent with observation of other leading investigators and research in the thylacine field, in particular Geiler and Paddle's research. The locations that he chooses are all prime thylacine habitat. There's plenty of abundant prey species in the area. There's historical records of bounties being taken in those areas, and there's post-1936 sightings of the animals, so where better to look than those particular areas. You know, whilst Cole hasn't used some of the latest technology that people like the Thylacine Research Unit uses, in particular things like stealth cameras, a lot of his observations, knowledge and facts can actually be used to supplement that technology. In particular, things like the investigators disguising their scent when they go in the field, but also disguising the scent of the equipment that they take into the field. So that's why T.R.U. has conducted a number of investigations, and we have videos that show this, where we actually use scent removal products and we wipe down our cameras before we place them in the field to significantly increase the chance that will capture video footage of thylacines. Also, we need to make sure we're putting them in the right locations. So if we're not having a look at the theories that people like Cole have, reputable people like Cole have in terms of their corridor theories, then it doesn't matter how much we disguise the scent of the particular camera. If we're not putting them in the right places, then we're not going to get photographic or video evidence of thylacines traversing the paths in front of the cameras. So the next part of this review, we're going to have a topographical tour, because a picture paints 1,000 words. So we're actually going to show some of the locations that Cole has investigated over his 4-decade-plus search for this animal. We start our tour at New Norfolk, and this is where Cole is based, and it's from here that he explores the length and breadth of the country looking for the thylacine. King William Saddle, mentioned in the book, quite a remote location, prime thylacine habitat. Derwent Bridge, literally hundreds of bounties paid in this area, multiple post 1936 sightings in that particular area. Strahan, Cole tells a story about how he had to battle the weather to actually get into some of the most remote and isolated areas on the west coast of Tasmania. Mount Arrowsmith and Bill's 2005 sighting, location there just off the road. Lake Rona, Cole tells of how he heard a number of thylacines calling to each other in that area. Adamsfield, this is where this 1990 thylacine was believed to have shot, and there's a photo of a thylacine foot in the book. And of course 1995, hunting calls from the thylacine and Cole's own sighting. This next part of the video looks at the corridor theory, where Cole believes that the thylacines in various times of year are actually traversing a particular corridor, a safe corridor for them that's got abundant prey, and you can see quite isolated. There aren't any build-up towns near this particular corridor. So we've gone from Walls of Jerusalem, Travellers Lane range. They'd be going around the actual Lake Mount Rufus, another prime location. Great potential thylacine spots there for dens and the like. Mount Arrowsmith, and you can see Bill sighting right on this particular corridor, and it was these kinds of sightings and investigations that allowed Cole to actually develop his theory and then actually get out in the field. The Warns Lookout and Jane River Country also, Jane River Country in particular, features quite strongly in Cole's book about his investigations, and quite often these investigations involve Cole firstly driving as close as he can get, but then basically a pack on his back walking through quite inhospitable terrain. And this is an aerial view of that particular thylacine corridor, and no doubt Cole would say that there are multiple potential corridors throughout Tasmania, but you can see very little impact of humans in that particular area. Lots of potential grazing area as well for thylacine prey species, places for them to den, water for them to drink, and quite a safe corridor for them to move throughout the various seasons of the year. So what recommendations do we have in regards to this particular book? Well, firstly, go out and buy this book. In fact, buy two. I've got an electronic version for Kindle that I put on my iPad. You could put it on your Android capable device, quite affordable in that particular format. You can take it with you wherever you go, but also buy a hard copy book. Might be a little bit harder to find in terms of you might have to order it online, but I use it to actually highlight various sections, come back and compare it with other researchers and take notes inside, and if need be I can take it out into the field. So that concludes the Thylacine Researchers Review on this fantastic book by Cole Bailey. Again, recommend that you go out and buy the book. Please feel free to leave your own comments about the book and how you enjoyed it and what theories you think you like in particular about the book in the comments section below in YouTube or on our Facebook page. Cheers for now.